What's up, everyone? I'm Elsa. My pronouns are she and her, and today we have a 20-minute circuit here. It is body weight strength, so no like weights or resistance bands or anything like that is required for our class today. A couple things that I would recommend having are like a mat, a towel, a blanket, something that you can lay on to provide a little bit of cushioning for your back for a couple of the exercises. An elevated surface that you feel comfortable enough to do like a push-up on, and an elevated surface that you feel comfortable doing like a dip situation on, like a tricep dip. They can be the same surface, they can be different surfaces. For like a tricep dip, I would do like a couch, an ottoman, a chair, anything like that. And for the elevated push-up, it really depends on where you are at and how you feel in your body today. You could do a wall, a countertop, a table, an ottoman, a sofa. You could do the ground too. It really just depends on where you are at and how you're feeling today, right? So with that being said, we can go ahead and get started. Again, feel free to modify wherever you see fit. The amount of reps that I'm saying is just like a general guide. You can do more, you can do less. I am, again, not in your body. I don't know what it feels like for you to be doing these exercises, so modify wherever you see fit. If anything is hurting, don't do it, skip it, find something that feels good for you, or just skip it and wait till the next exercise. Nothing should cause you pain in working out, especially not in this situation. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Our first exercise is going to be a squat. I like to start with my feet like shoulder width apart, hip width apart. It really just depends on how it feels for you. And then for a squat, we're acting like we're sitting back in a chair, standing right back up, right? Doing 10 of these. My personal goal is to get close to parallel, or as close to parallel as I can get, because I used to, and I'm going to be doing back squats, so that is typically the goal that you like to hit for that, parallel or below parallel, with a nice flat back. You can also be trying to just aim your squat lower. Do a squat. It does not have to be that deep. If you wanted to use a surface like a bench, a chair, a sofa, anything like that that you are going to try to sit on, you could also do that. So it could be, I'm going to sit all the way back onto my surface, stand up, driving through my feet, trying not to swing forward, even though that is what the habit is going to be, sitting back all the way, standing up just like that. You can do whichever variation feels best for you. Whatever feels best for you. You could do a combination of the two. Do what feels good for you, right? Once we have done the 10 push-ups, the 10 squats, I'm getting ahead of myself, we are going to move on to a good morning. So that is a hinge type of movement, similar to a deadlift if you've ever done that. For the good morning, I like to put my hands up right behind my ears. You're just resting them here. You're not like trying to grab your head, rounding your neck, anything like that. You are just letting everything rest right back here, pulling your shoulder blades back in together, right? Unlocking those knees. And then you are just going to hinge back like that, right? Almost like you're hitting a button with your butt. Another thing that can be helpful for people is imagining like you are spreading your butt cheeks, right? Because that's kind of what it feels like as you do that hinge sort of movement. Those are just a couple of the cues that can be a little bit helpful. Another thing you can try if this is your first time doing this movement is using like a wall behind you. I would say like 6 inches or so away from the wall. Obviously that'll depend on everybody and you can adjust from there. And then just aiming back and touching the wall with your butt, right? Keeping our backs nice and arched. We don't want any rounding happening in our spines. Just like that, right? So 10 of those. If those feel good for you, you can do more. If they don't, you can do less. Do whatever feels right for you, yeah? Next, we are going to go to the elevated push-up. Now we're here. For the elevated push-up, I'm gonna start by using this bench. If that feels a little bit hard for me, I can always move to a different surface, right? It's been a while since I've done these, so we can do them on an elevated surface together. So for the push-up, we're gonna start with our wrists are gonna be right under our shoulders, right like that. Our tails are tucked, right? So that means we're not letting our bellies drop like this. We're not hiking our butts in the air like this. Everything is in a nice straight line. Core is engaged. Feet are about shoulder width apart or so. And then you are going to push all the way down and all the way back up, right? See how I did that kind of like worm thing where my belly dropped a little? Your goal is to not have that happen. That just means the surface is a little bit more challenging for me now than it has been in the past, right? Because I haven't done them in a while. We're gonna aim for 10 of those. Say 8 is also a good number, 6 is also a good number. If doing them on a surface that low is challenging for you, which is, it's low for me, then we can move to like a table height, a countertop height, which is out of frame for me, but is in that general direction, which is why I keep pointing, or a wall. Those could all be really, really great options in order to do the push-up if doing it off of like the ground is not feeling great for you, which definitely wouldn't be for me. Once we have done, let's say 8 to 10 of the push-ups, we can move on to a tricep dip. So for the tricep dip, it is again going to be on an elevated surface. I would recommend doing it off of a chair, couch, ottoman like I have, a step, anything like that. So for that, we are going to go to our surface. Elbows are tucked to our rib cage. Hands are right under our elbows. Our booties are right on the edge of the bench. Legs are bent at a 90-degree angle, right? Feet are about hip width apart. You're gonna slide right off that bench so your booty is right up against the bench, right? You're not all the way out here, right up against the bench. And then you're gonna press down and up. You're using your triceps, right? You're not putting the weight in, you're putting as much weight on your hands as you can handle and pushing right back up. If that is feeling too easy, straighten out those legs. Same thing, down and up. Again, not swinging forward like that, keeping everything tucked right to the bench, yeah? And 10 of those, again, more or less, depending on where you're at. Okay, once you have completed all 10 of those, we are going to move, or whatever number you choose, we're gonna move down to the ground, onto our cushioned surface. So for me, it's a mat. Could be a blanket, could be a towel, could even be the ground if that's what you're feeling right now, right? So we're gonna come right on our backs. Scoot this back a little. So we're coming right on our backs, right? And we're gonna do a march. So for this, we're gonna start with our feet in a tabletop position. So you're pressing your back into the mat, feeling your core engage, and your legs are at that 90-degree angle, right? For this, your hands can come on out to the side. That typically feels good. And you're gonna drop one leg slowly, nice and controlled, till your heel hits the ground. Lift it back up. Dropping your other leg down to the ground, lifting it up. Just like that. We're gonna do 10 per side, so that's 20 total. If you're saying, wow, that feels too easy for me, feel free to drop your legs in between too. Take as much time as you need. If you're saying that feels too easy for you, then you can again start with your legs in a tabletop position. As you come down, you're gonna straighten your leg, bring it back up. So straightening your leg on the way down, bringing it back up, just like that. If it was too challenging for you the first way, totally fine. It took me a long while to get this. Then we are going to do, again, starting in a tabletop position, dropping one leg down, leaving it there, dropping your other leg down, leaving it there, then lifting back up, back up. And then you're going to lead with the opposite leg. Down, down, up, up, just like that, right? Your goal isn't to rush through it and like slam your legs down and up. Your goal is to just do it with nice control, just like that. And it's going to be 10 per side, remember? Remembering to breathe. It is a reminder that some people need, myself included. Once you have done all of those, then we are going to do a 30-second plank hold. So again, using the cushy surface that you have going for you, you can go ahead and flip over so you're on your knees. And we're gonna do this from our forearms, right? So our forearms right on the mat. Our elbows are still under our shoulders, palms facing down, so you can press them into the mat or into the ground. And then we're gonna kick back into that plank, okay? Remembering to keep everything nice and level, trying not to let our bellies drop. So we're gonna kick back in 3, 2, and 1. Ha. Just like that. Everything nice and controlled, nice and even. We're not letting our bellies dip like this, not piking up like this, keeping it all level. And if you need to widen your feet, do that. Having a little bit of a wider base can really help. And just remembering to breathe. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Ha. Breathe. Whew. Short, but you still feel it. Again, with a plank, if you don't want to do it off of the ground next time, you can go onto your elevated surface and do it from your hands. So you could use bench, table, counter, wall, any of those guys, right? Go ahead and catch your breath, take a quick sip of water if you want, and then we are going to go right back into our circuit, starting with our squats. But take your breath, take your time, find your breath, reground yourself, and we'll get into it, right? Hope you're feeling good so far. That's the goal. Okay. And then we are starting with 10 squats, more, less, whatever feels good for you, getting to a depth that, again, feels right for you. Okay. I'll show you from this side too. Again, you can do these from a bench if that's easier. And back up to the center. Once you have finished your 10, again, take your time. You don't have to do it at the same pace as I do. We are going to go into our good morning. So hands are going to come upright like that. And we are just hinging forward. Ha. Continuing to look forward. For me, if I look down, my back will start to round, and that is not what we want to have happening. I did lose count, but doing 10 of these, more or less, whatever feels right. Okay. Once we have hit our 10 of those, we are going to move on to our push-ups. aiming from like 6 to 10, wherever feels good for you. I want you to push yourself, but I don't want to push yourself to the point that you feel like this hurts, I can't do it. Like, I want you to still be able to believe that you can accomplish these, right? So pick a depth that feels good for you. On this height, I'm like, can I do 8? Can I do 10? So it's really finding the surface that works best for where you are at in this moment in time. Doesn't mean you aren't capable of going lower. Doesn't really matter if you are either, right? It's wherever you want to be. You can set a goal for yourself if that is what your goal is, or not. Like, you can just move and to enjoy it. So you're gonna do 6 to 10 of these. Again, keeping everything nice and tucked. Just breathing. Like, that is my cue to stop from the surface, because my back did that. My body started to like worm in order to get up. And that is my sign that my body is tired and that I should not be doing them from that surface after that rep, right? Once you have done an amount of push-ups that you feel good with, like 6 to 10, we are gonna move on to the tricep dips. So coming over to my block, finding that nice 90-degree angle, coming right off of it, and then doing 10 of these. Again, the tendency is to drift forward with them. We want to try to stay as close to that bench as we can. Okay. Once you have done 10 of those, guys, take your time. If you're not there yet, keep going, breathe. It's not a race. It's not a competition with yourself, with me, with anyone else. Just doing it for you. Once you have done that, we are going to come onto the mat again to do our marches. You can take a minute to catch your breath if you want, and then hop right in. It is 10 per leg, so that is 20 of these guys total, right? Again, arms coming out to the side is typically what works best, but you do you. Remember, dropping the legs one at a time and coming back up, or holding them at the bottom, coming up. What's important here is to alternate the leading leg, right? Or if all of those are too easy, straighten the leg on the way down. After this, only one more exercise. And if you feel your body get too tired doing a harder variation, you can always press it back, right? Just do what feels right for you. Once you have done all of those, we are going to do our plank hold for 30 seconds, and then that's it. We're done. That's it. You took 20 minutes for yourself. That's something to celebrate. All right, so coming into our plank, elbows are under our shoulders, palms are pressing into our mat and our surface, and then we're just gonna come down, right? Pushing yourself off in 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, and drop it. Let it go.
That is it. You are done. 20 minutes for yourself. It's a lot. 20 minutes is sometimes a lot to take for yourself. So I am very proud of you for sticking with it, taking the time for yourself. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.